we'll be close enough. The important thing is that you hear what's going on. Thank you, everyone, for coming out to the October meeting of City on Rising. My name is John Doyle. I'm the president of our board. I want to thank everyone who came out here today. Also want to thank, I know a lot of people, there's a lot of different things going on today between the PTA, between the PTA obviously is having Latin American History Month. We also have a Mideast protest going down in Pelham Parkway, and there are a few other functions in the neighborhood, but I appreciate those of you who came out tonight. I want to acknowledge on our board is Millie Perez, who's over there, Jeff Cunningham, who's over here, and we may be joined by a few more of our board members. A lot of them had commitments tonight, but we may be joined by a few more as we continue here. We're going to start right with the community updates, so everyone can get filled in on what's been going on since the last meeting. Some things are still in progress, so once we get done with community updates, we'll have just a brief pause, and if you have a question you have with regard to something we spoke about at the last meeting or this meeting, you can ask at that time, and we will fill everyone in. First thing, which I put to the very top of the agenda because it came up today, is that there is a cannabis license that has come up for Fordham Place. This is, I know there was some discussion online over where this is. This is not an On the Sound, this is not somebody running their business at On the Sound. This would be the industrial lot next to On the Sound. So we are waiting for further updates. The community board is going to advise when they have them. There may be a hearing. Right now they're just meeting with the applicant, and we will find out.
It's a different applicant?
It's a different applicant than home.
Than the one that's on the island?
Yes, yes. So it's someone else. I believe this is, at the exact terminology, it's not a license where you would, it's a micro license, I believe. The exact terminology from the email is right on all our social media accounts, so we can look at that. So it's not your typical license. Sure, we'll just put it there for a second, we'll figure that out. So we obviously will watch for that. Everybody will get an update. We want to keep an open mind. Again, if this is going through the legal process, the ideal thing is we want people doing this who are doing it legally than people who are doing it illegally. Because if it's illegal, there's no one vouching for what materials are inside, and it's not up to regulation, and it's better to do this legally as opposed to the alternative. Next up, so at the last meeting we spoke about that we sent a letter to the deputy mayor about all the different flooding concerns, all the different park jurisdiction concerns, all the different flooding on the avenue concerns. We did get a response. She's willing to come out here to meet. The rest of the letter was kind of just status updates on where everything stands, but I'm hopeful that if we can bring the deputy mayor out here to meet and somebody who has jurisdiction over DOT, DEP, DDC, sanitation, we're probably going to be in a much better state. So we're very hopeful about that, and we'll be updating you as that comes along. She actually mentioned the flood sensors that they had installed as if this was new news. Of course, they're all up here, and we were the ones who got, they were actually connected through my house. So it was interesting to read that as kind of an out-of-body experience that someone was taking credit for that, but we will try to collaborate, we'll try to work together and try to hopefully address some of these concerns, whether it's Ditmars, whether it's Tier, whether it's both sides of Ditmars actually, the Miniford Moat, as I like to say, and again, all the flooding concerns in Pelham Bay Park. So this is, it's a progression, but we know we need to bring someone in who's jurisdiction over all these agencies, because as things stand right now, we have a situation where no agency wants to claim responsibility for what's going on in Pelham Bay Park. So the only way we're going to address that is that we bring in the real higher-ups. And absent Mayor Adams coming, there's no one more higher up than the deputy mayor. So, to be continued. Also, on the Daffodils Project, this is a project that started through New Yorkers for Parks. This is meant to be a memorial for 9/11. And the people we lost on 9/11, they give out daffodils to, and the bulbs and the seeds to a variety of different community groups. David Diaz, who's on our board, he arranged so we have about 200 seeds. So we're going to find a few places to plant them to both beautify the neighborhood and, of course, to kind of pay respects to those who were lost 22 years ago. We just picked up the bulbs Saturday or Sunday, so if you have some spots, I was thinking maybe by Belden Point, because I know the shrubbery near there leaves something to be desired. So if we could maybe do something down near there, it might be a nice touch. If it's in another area, I know he was going to reach out to the garden club, but if there are other areas, obviously we will see what we can do there. Beyond that, Jeff, you want to discuss the park cleanup?
Yeah, sure. We're gonna lead a parks cleanup on the morning of November 4th. So you'll get a flyer in your email, and you'll probably see them around town. We're gonna shoot for 9 a.m. In collaboration with Palm Bay Park. We spoke to Mary Anderson at Parks, who you may remember joining us at our meeting several months ago. So we just want to get as many people down as we can, just to continue to beautify the area. There's been a lot of trash that's kind of come up with a lot of the flooding, and obviously any kind of ongoing efforts and community building efforts. So we have some materials, and we'll kind of take stock of what we have material-wise. People are welcome to bring their own bags, rakes, whatever, what have you. But we'll definitely have things there. We had discussed doing a couple different parts where it would be easier for people to park at Orchard Beach and kind of walk along the pathways, and we can guide through those particular areas. If someone has an area in Palm Bay Park that's accessible that they really think is in need of some beautification or just trash pickup, email us and we can take a look. We're going to have a call with them probably next week, and so just look out for news of that. But that's going to be November 4th in the morning, and if anybody has issues getting there, let us know, and we'll make sure to help you out with transportation. I'm sure someone's will be carpooling or walking in groups or whatever, so let us know.
Thank you, Jeff. And again, that's November 4th in the morning hours, probably around 8:39, we said, right?
8:30, 9. What do you think? What do you guys think? I mean, I said 9, but if people think earlier is better, that's fine. Then we have more the rest of the day once we're done.
What day is it? Saturday?
November 4th, it's a Saturday. You think 9?
9, okay.
All right.
Good stuff. We also, by the way, with our Home Depot purchase, we got a bunch of weed whackers, like 4 of them. Obviously, I can't give them out to everybody, but for us, we can bring them out that day, and we can tame the growth that survives in many of these places and make it look nice. Thank you, Jeff, for that. Next up, so we've been speaking a lot about CERT and COAD, and for those of you who are either joining us online or here today, so the CERT program is the Community Emergency Response Teams. There's one in CB10, it's primarily based out of Co-op City, and there is the COAD, which is Community Organizations Active in Disaster. So we had, done a sign up. You've probably seen the flooding photo with the QR code asking people to sign up. We've got about 20 people who signed up that way. The good news is that both the CERT people and the COAD people have taken notice. So we're going to have a planning meeting on October 24th. It's going to be in the evening. I don't yet have the location because I'm securing it now. I was trying to have a big rollout for tonight, but sometimes that isn't always possible. So we will be announcing it probably tomorrow. So if you want to get involved, basically how this will work is that we will do emergency planning and training once a month until we get up to 30 people who can all commit to one time. And then the city has agreed to, that's our first volunteer, by the way. The city has agreed to do trainings and we can bring 30 people together for CERT. So we could have a City Island-based CERT team because they recognize as a Zone 1 evacuation area where there's a lot of flooding, we may need to have our own CERT team primarily based out of here in the case of an emergency. So stay tuned for that. On the ferry update, I'm sure some of you saw the news. We've been doing some different media requests, and we've also we launched our website, which is yescityislandferry.com. It's also yescityislandferry.org and yescityislandferry.nyc. You can go right to the website. It's going to be being expanded and updated with different features as the months go on. We're going to have an expanded feature on each reason why we believe a ferry would be well suited for the island. But right now, if you go there, you see our web form, you see the petition, and the web form, the petition, and our op-ed. So you can have a little bit of all those things, which is very good. And just so you know, people, a lot of people signed up with the petition earlier on, but they did not yet sign up with the web form, which is on the main page of the website. When you sign up through that, that's not just for our record keeping. That goes to Council Member Velasquez, that goes to Council Member Farias, who is the neighboring council member who oversees the Economic Development Committee, which is the committee that oversees NYC Ferry. And it sends an email to Vanessa Gibson. So in one stop, you email 3 of your elected officials to tell them this is something you want. And a lot of people have been doing that. And the good news of that is that Councilmember Farias came out. Again, this is the person who chairs the committee that oversees NYC Ferry. And she has come out and given a public statement in support of the ferry from City Island. So we're already making a difference.
What's the website?
Yes, City Island Ferry, all one word, .com.
What if you signed up before it's done?
So if you
Go to that one and just re-sign.
So the web form is the new form on the main site. So sign up through that. That's a good one because even if you've done it once before, you must have just done it in the last month then. If you're not sure, do it just because, worst case, you emailed your elected official twice, they'll survive. And then if you haven't yet, the second thing is to sign the petition. The petition, we've had hundreds of people sign the petition hard copy. But today we reached a milestone that 1,500 people have signed online. And a lot of that is due to the media presence we've been garnering from Pix 11, from a few other publications. There's going to be more on the horizon. So this message is being very widely spread, which is very good. And as a result, people are signing up, and encourage you to do so because every time someone signs up and contacts their elected official, and I'm not speaking for the elected officials, but I can tell you in a professional capacity, everybody's name is recorded, and elected officials do, before they take a stance, ask who's reached out to us on a particular issue. So the web form is a great way to go. And in keeping with that, because we're going to announce every month a new feature for the Yes the Ferry campaign, this month there's going to be a flyer going out, but you're going to get it here first. We're starting a logo contest for both adults and children. It's an art contest, what you think would be a Yes City Island Ferry logo, what it should mean, what it means to you, what you think would be good. And the winner of this, we haven't set a deadline yet, but the person whose logo we select will not only be the logo that we put on our storefront signs to hang out in the neighborhood and in the business and in the homes, but they'll also win a nifty $200 gift certificate to their favorite City Island restaurant, whichever one they choose. So there's something good in it for everybody, and it helps build community pride. So if you have an interest in this, please go to the website, and you can always email us at cityislandrising@gmail.com. And we do check that all the time. Next up is we had a meet. So after we got the letter from the deputy commissioner, within a few days, Senator Fernandez's office reached out, and they advised that the commissioner of DOT, Commissioner Yadanis Rodriguez, the citywide commissioner, was in town for some sort of Bronx forum. So they invited me to go to speak about some of the City Island issues we have, whether it's the park, Miniford Moat, and some of our long-standing DOT requests, which have been re-examined over the summer to see if we meet criteria for stop signs, speed humps, whatever. And I spoke to the commissioner. He was very receptive. He put me in touch with his deputy, and I think we're planning something, but yeah, I appreciate the senator for arranging that, and we are furthering and continuing to go here, so it's worthwhile. Next up is our community calendar, which I don't know if Kara kind of is juggling a few things out here. Okay, I guess Chris is going to take the bit. You want to come and do the community calendar?
Sure.
That was a great trade-off in teamwork right there. Bravo.
Okay, hi, I'm Kara. Yes, so we have been working on putting together a community calendar for the past couple of months. The purpose of it is to just help promote events on the island, get people who are on the island to them and also off. So right now it's specifically for events held on City Island, and anybody can submit an event. There's a Google form, easy to fill out. and yeah, just helping to promote local businesses and getting feet in stores, I guess.
Great. Thank you. Thank you, and give Kara a round of applause. She volunteered for this, and it's going to probably be some time that she's giving back, which we all very much appreciate. Thank you, Kara. And we have a few of the flyers here with the QR codes printed out, so you can grab one. You can add something to the calendar, but this is going to be an updated feature on our website. And we have been updating our personal website, not Yes the Ferry, the cityislandrising.org website. So please, when you have an event or you think there's something we want to get people to, let us know, and we can also kind of repurpose that for social media posts as well. So you consider us a resource to blast out about good events happening in the community. And then even though it's an update, but we've spoken about this before, everyone knows there's 4 flood sensors on City Island right now that are up and running and functioning right now. We've shared it on the website a few times and shared it on our social media. It's one's on City Island and Center Street, right by the Chase parking lot. The second is on Tier Street, right by Tier Street lot. The third is on Ditmars, on the Eastchester Bay side of Ditmars, which, as we all know, gets tidal flooding. And the fourth is on Miniford and Cross by the Miniford Moat. And 2 weeks ago, when we had our bad storm, the flood monitor measured a record 10 inches down on Ditmars. And why is this good? These flood sensors are monitored, even though they connect through my apartment, but they're monitored by CUNY and by the Mayor's Office of Resiliency. So in a sense, we've been providing them with the data collection to show that it's a very serious problem here. And the fact that 10 inches were measured down there, probably was even higher now that I think about it, but the fact that there were 10 inches down there means in their own records, we're showing them that there's a problem there they can no longer ignore. So we have been getting noticed, agencies have been reaching out, so it is making a difference. If you see something, again, 311, email us, call us, let's work together and try to get these things addressed. These things do not happen quickly, they do not happen easily, but the longer we work together, the better we're going to be in terms of addressing some of these things. Elected officials, I do not see, usually we have someone here from Fernandez's office and AOC's office. I know they were both here last month. Don't see them here yet this month, but that's fine, we'll just keep going. We have an open floor for community concerns. Does anyone have anything? Well, first off, let me pause. I know there's a lot of things on the community update. Did anyone have a question about that before we move on to open floor? No questions about what we have on here right now? That's good. You guys, sometimes you guys make it easy for all of us. Open floor for community concerns. Does anyone have anything that's not on the agenda? Because we do have another guest to come up here and speak. Does anyone have anything that's not on the agenda that they think is important?
I have an event that I want to tell people about.
That's wonderful. I'm going to give the mic over to you so that they can hear it on this.
Okay. So the Hutchinson River, hi, I'm Barbara. So I'm here to let you know about the Hutchinson River Restoration Project, which is doing a cleanup of the river behind Target. We're going to take out, it's a big event, we're partnering with EcoPel, people, the environmentalists from Pelham, and we're going to try to remove a lot of the junk that's in the river right now. There's shopping carts and all kinds of stuff, and so it's an in-river and on the side cleanup. It's going to be a big one. It's October 21st. So go to the Hutchinson River Restoration Project.org. I have a few of these flyers, and we welcome everyone to come help clean up the hutch.
We'll pass those around. Thank you, Barbara. Thank you, and if anyone can volunteer with the Hutchinson River Restoration Project, both Barbara and Aji and Patrick, who I know is on the way, they do a lot of really good work, and they've gotten the group back in the running, and you're getting a lot of grant funding now, I know. So bigger and better things on the horizon, and we want to support them, because the better they do, the better it is for the environment, which is the better it is for everyone.
Yeah, the hutch leads right into the
Mhm.
Eastchester Bay, and everybody knows that. So it goes right into our waters, and the craft that comes down the hutch is pretty awful.
Very true. And at one point in the 90s, the Hutch was measured as the most polluted waterway in the state.
But we're going to change that.
Absolutely. There's nowhere to go but up. It's like when they say not 62. If there's 62 counties in the state, if we can just get to 61, we're doing somewhat better. What was that? We have time here for stand-up if we need to. No worries. So for old business, before I get to old business, I just want to acknowledge that the Stop and Swap was a tremendous success. So I particularly want to thank both Alice and Millie, who are over here. They did a wonderful job doing the Stop and Swap. There were hundreds of people there. There was a lot of activity. So I just want to thank the both of you for all your efforts to make that successful. Thank you both.
Yay!
And we all survived the swap, which is also very important. Some barely, but we did. On old business, so on the dog run, people have been asking for a dog run for a while. Marlena Fitzpatrick Garcia has been spearheading the effort to revive this. We've had her meet with the people who handled this in the past. I know she's been reaching out to the council member's office. She also has meetings set up with our state legislators to try to get more funding for a dog run here on the island. We'll keep you posted, but I know one of those meetings is in early November, so hopefully by the next meeting we'll have an update for you on where we stand with that. We're still working to put together the substance abuse panel. It may end up, we're going to try to get it in before the holiday season. If we don't, it'll be the first thing on the agenda in January, but it's very important. As everyone knows, there is unfortunately a substance abuse problem throughout the country, and it has hard hit this area in particular. So we're going to be working to get some healthcare providers here to bring in the resources that are needed so you know how to deal with someone if they're suffering with addiction and what treatment options are available to you. We're going to be inviting the healthcare institutions as well as people who specialize in harm reduction to provide an educational outlet, and we're going to have an ongoing effort to invite some of the younger generations who don't normally attend meetings but are hard hit by this, because we want to do something that's impactful, and that even if it makes the difference in the life of only one person, it's a worthwhile difference. So to be continued on that. And number 3, the welcoming committee. We are gearing up for the fall session of the welcoming committee. So if there are new neighbors, I know we have one new neighbor right here, so you'll be on the list, Abby, but we definitely want all the new neighbors on all the different blocks to be getting a welcome, to be getting some papers, about what happens on the island, the different groups that they can join, fun little information with a little tchotchke that we'll provide to welcome them to the island. Moving can be a scary thing, as I think many people here know, and we want to make sure that they know that they are not only do we see them here, but we welcome them, and we all welcome their contributions to the larger community, and we hope they get involved. In keeping with that, I will tell you that with our Adopt a Block program, a few of the people who've signed up are people who are either have just moved to the island or in the process of moving to the island. So I just thought that was really encouraging, that people are either going on social media and learning about the group, or they're reaching out from online. But we've already had a few people who are literally either just moved or in the process of moving, and they want to get involved with getting the materials to clean their block and be a part of the community. And I think that's a wonderful thing. Okay. Does anyone have a question about old business that wasn't answered? Is there anything on here that you didn't see that you think we should talk about? Okay. I just wanted to let everyone know we are still working on both the UPK situation and the urgent care situation. There were no substantive updates, but that doesn't mean there's not work going on behind the scenes, particularly with UPK. You need the square footage space of, I believe it's like 1,000 or 2,000 square feet, which kind of limits where it can go. But we are very much, there's not a week that goes by, because I know some people watch online and I get emails about it that we didn't talk about it. There's not a week that goes by, there's not even sometimes days that go by, that we are not concerned with trying to get universal pre-kindergarten back on City Island. So know that it's a priority, and even though we don't have an update on it, it doesn't mean it's not being worked on. It just means, especially for the little one who's here, but for her and all her little friends, we are making sure that this is a resource that every community should have, and we fight for the resources for this community. So, rest assured. Without further ado, we have a guest here from a neighboring community, from Section 5 of Co-op City, Mary Pearson. Mary, come on up. Give, yes, round of applause, absolutely.
Thank you. I of course carry this everywhere. I've been carrying it for 17 months, and I've been working on this project for the 17 months. Our friend, your friend, and mine, John, said I could have a couple of minutes to ask, do you think it might be a concern of this community, something related to the Metro North station that's coming?
Yes.
It's not happening until 2008, but something important, a factor of it is happening, any minute now, and that is the taking away of a ramp. It's called Ramp C. It's the one that just got closed off. Has anyone gotten stuck in traffic lately with all of the, okay. So you know what I'm talking about. Now there is this ramp, it's our ramp, we think of it as ours in Section 5, because we only have 3 roads that go into Section 5. One is the Interstate, the other is Bartow Avenue. You know where Bartow is, kind of in the middle of Co-op City? That's above Section 5. Both of those can be problematic, of course. You've been on I-95? Does it ever get jammed? Does it ever not get jammed? They're working on it desperately to try to manipulate ramps and roads so that it'll be a smoother ride. I'm thinking they're gearing up for military, to tell you the truth, because they're doing so much work in our area and planning even more along I-95. So this is just the beginning, this little Project X. It's X731.
Project outward to here. Just want to make sure we're getting you for the people
you're-
online, because
okay.
we have a few
I
people
didn't
watching.
realize you're zooming.
Yeah.
I didn't know what.
Okay, no worries.
Okay, so stand still.
No, stand, look towards me, so
I'll
that
look
way we
towards
get
you.
you on.
Okay, come on, smile. Okay. Okay. Anyway, we've been fighting to save our ramp because it is a 3rd road into Section 5. Now, why would that concern you? It doesn't. It doesn't specifically concern you if we can get home without going through that great big new, you've seen it? The great big new entrance ramp to I-95 that goes all the way down practically to the station. We don't mind the inconvenience. Well, some of us don't mind it, but we do mind losing a road because of the danger. One less road, less access by rescue vehicles. So that's a concern for us. Why should it be a concern for you? Is because Ramp C has this little cutoff that goes to something called the Circle of Trees. Okay? It allows full access to the Metro North station in the event they ever give up the idea that they only want Co-op City availability and access to the station. Now, I'm sure that nobody who's taking the train wants to have to come through Section 5 Co-op City to get on the train. Section 5 certainly doesn't want you to have to go through Section 5 and Co-op City to get on the train. So, we're hoping that someone will come to their senses and say, we do need south of the tracks access. I do know that Assemblyman Benedetto has been working to get south of the tracks access. It also already exists, but it only exists, access is only possible by I-95 South. You come I-95 South, you get off at 8C, which is the road, the exit to Pelham Parkway heading west. Have you gotten that in your head? I-95 and it goes off to Pelham Parkway. Halfway through, there's a little sign saying authorized vehicles only. That leads to the back of the tracks and a place called the Selby Transportation Bigger Yard. That is where school buses hang out when they're not working. At least they were, but now they're gone. They moved them somewhere for the construction. nobody seems to know where. I certainly don't know where. Do you know where, John? You know where they're hiding right now?
it's a subject of investigation.
I don't know where they're putting all those buses, because school's back in session. Anyway, they moved that out, and it's a huge thing. In fact, on this, I just brought just one hard copy for people to look at.
I'd like to take a picture.
Okay, great. I thought that
We'll
you
put
could.
it, if you
you
can
take-
send me the photo, we'll put it on our social media, so that
Okay,
way
great.
people
Oh,
are
well,
familiar.
you can have it at the end
Okay,
of the
great.
day, but I only brought one for the group.
Sure.
And then I brought a whole bunch of little ones for everybody who's interested in doing something about this. Also, this one is a QR code that leads you to Bruckner Hutch Project X. It's a 5-minute video that some of our neighbors put together to explain the entire project that has taken over our lives on Pelham Parkway and I-95, and for us up on Bartow Avenue.
And we're really talking about ramp C, right? So everyone here should know what ramp C is. This is the ramp if you're coming from the Pelham Bay Bridge or the Shore Road Bridge. This is right before you get to the I-95 underpass. This is the ramp you can get on to go to I-95 North. This is the ramp she's talking about.
And that's the ramp that was recently closed. It was closed last Thursday. Okay. So, when it's closed, we can't have the fullest.
You stand over here and I will be your banner. I will handle that.
We won't have the fullest access to south of the tracks when they decide they need south of the tracks access to the train station. As I said, it's not happening right away. However, the destruction of Ramp C could happen any day now. I've gotten a semi-promise from the commissioner. Yeah, it's the red line.
I see it.
It's the red line, and it comes up from Pelham Parkway, and it goes up to the cutoff. It's called Exit 9. It's Palmer Avenue. You see that part? We're looking at this.
Okay.
You got to figure which way is up. The purple line goes up. That's I-95 on your maps. The pink line is Pelham Parkway. The blue line, the dark blue line is the railroad tracks. The thing with the little pink squares is Section 5. There are 4,558 apartments in Section 5. That's about the same number of houses on City Island. And it's in a quarter of a square mile. Okay. So they want to take away Ramp C. Now you can get to the south of the tracks, as I said, by I-95. You come off, you go to the exit 8C and circle to this pink stuff. Look at the pink stuff under the railroad tracks. The two clover leaves under the railroad tracks. Now, you can get to the south of the tracks access from the first pink coming down I-95 and trying to get off at 8C. That will exist. They will probably go with that. That would allow park and ride access, which I'm sure anyone who wants to take the train would want that. There is no parking in Section 5. We have waiting lists on our garages as it is. And everyone is very, very concerned that once people start looking to take the train, they might go on a Friday, go to Connecticut, and come back on Monday, taking away parking spots that don't exist already. But again, why should you care? Because it would really be nice for you to be able to get to the south of the tracks in as easy a way as possible. Now, the other the other page I showed you, I did a little Google thing showing how you can get from City Island. I started at the Turtle Golf Course, and all these different ways that you can drive. It's not on the little map; it's on the big one that the lady has. It's in your hand, the one you just put down. That's how you can get to the train all different ways.
So if people want to get involved, how do they get involved?
Okay.
Now?
If
What
you
are
wanna
you
get-
asking them to do, and how can they help you?
Okay, what I want you to do is I want you to, on the little pages I gave you, it has some people who to call. Mostly it's Mr. Benedetto, because it was his idea to do this whole project in the first place in 2006. Okay, and these are the other state people that would be involved. That's on the small sheet that I handed out. There's more if you need it. And if you would, take a screenshot of the little video. I think on that,
And your goal is to save ramp C, right?
it's to save ramp C.
Okay.
So I have a
Yeah.
question. This is the to set up the new train station. right?
Yes.
All right, and it's still in the design phases of this or not?
Well, there's-
It's in the construction phase. That's why we all see the construction. What?
But-
Why don't you speak on this? Just we want to give you a little time, but we do want to move this.
Yeah.
Okay.
There is construction happening now. For the station itself
Mhm.
on where it's kind of on this blue line
Yeah.
where it meets the purple line.
So my question is there any thought to making it a green park area since they're constructing around there with the city people so that it helps, it goes right over the hutch, so it deals with the hutch and it gives people access, we can have access to the hutch that way. I mean, in terms of the design phase, where is it at in terms of that? And can we influence the design phase at all?
So this is actually in the construction phases right now. They've closed up. The reason Mary came is because they closed off Ramp C, and Mary's leading an effort to save Ramp C. That's what's on the bag, and that's what's going on here. She asked for some time to speak. As it relates to the Metro North and everything else going on, keep in mind we did as a board send a letter to the Metro North. Metro North is having town halls. There's going to be a town hall in Co-op City coming up soon on the 18th. On the 18th, October 18th, right?
Yes.
And there's going to be one on the 26th in Morris Park, location to be determined. So we encourage people to come out and, yes.
And Hunts Point on the 16th.
And Hunts Point on the 16th. Thank you, Mary. So you have a lot of different opportunities. Obviously, the closest areas for us to go weigh in are Co-op City. And I would encourage people to go to the Co-op City Town Hall for Metro North because that is the site that most city islanders, I think, are going to wind up using. And what we have done as a board is we asked about 2 years ago, I think, or maybe even longer, when DCP started taking public comments, we asked that they consider designing a walking path from right where Ramp C is, believe it or not, to Erskine Place, which would be, I think it's about 500 feet.
But they're taking that away.
What we asked them to do is that we should have some sort of ramp there so people can walk, get off the bus, and just walk right to the tracks if they can. Now, it's under advisement. We'll see if it happens. But, in the meantime, if people, because I did hear a complaint from somebody about Ramp C, and they didn't like it was closed off, and you had asked to come speak. So if people want to help in your effort, you have a change.org petition, right?
Say again?
You have a change.org petition?
Yes, change.org.
Change.org. And they can, what's the website they want to go to? Okay, it's a QR code, and we will post it on our site with all of Mary's visuals. Okay, it's bit.ly.
It's bit.ly/sign Project X.
Great.
That's the petition.
Yep.
And the information is at bit.ly/Section 5 Project X.
Great.
And then this one you just for the video if you want to see the whole thing.
Yeah.
That's you just Google Project X Bruckner Hutch, and it will pop up. It'll be the first thing that pops up.
Great.
Because I've popped on it so many times, it's beaten out even the construction.
There we go. Thank you, Mary.
Well, thank you so much.
Appreciate you. Let's give her a round of applause. Yes, Lee.
You know, I'm late, you guys are doing the bus access to the
Project.
Metro North.
Oh.
I'm sorry, what was your question? I'm sorry.
what's the stat, is there?
Sure. So right now, Metro North status, the status of the Metro North stations, there are 4 Metro North stations coming into the Bronx. It's the Metro North East Side Access Project. It's due for completion in 2027. That's what they're saying now.
Not 2028.
It got delayed by 6 months. I know that because of some disputes with Amtrak. Hopefully 2027, 2028, we'll see. But the point is, it is, when you think about it, we're in 2023 now, so we're talking 5 years. That's not terrible. Now, this has been promised for years, and I know people are getting antsy and impatient, but it is on the horizon, and we do all hope that, because when Co-op City was originally promised to the people who were to reside there, it was always promised with a train station. So 50 years later, they're getting a train station. We, as a community, stand to also benefit regionally from their train station. So we're rooting for Co-op City to get their train. If people want to get involved, yeah, go ahead, Mary.
And we're hoping you get your
Yes, thank you, thank you. God, we're all gonna get something out of here.
So John, I missed it.
Yeah.
Bus stop?
So yeah, what we've been trying to do through Rising is we asked that there be a bus stop right there and a walking path right to Erskine Place, so people can get off the bus and get right on the Metro North if that is what they need to do. So, yes.
And that's what would be good about the fuller access.
Mhm.
A bus can take the detour
Yeah.
that they took a detour of one of the
Mhm.
clover leaves and they had to go towards Orchard Beach and City Island and turn around.
Mhm.
So to go, they have the 12th going to Pelham Parkway West.
Mhm.
If Ramp C and the turnaround still existed, that the buses,
Mhm.
the 29, could take that and get right behind the station, so you don't have to walk across.
So in terms of the waterfront,
Mhm.
it's right there by the waterfront, right?
It is, but what exactly are you?
What's it, East Pine Place? I'm not sure that area.
Yeah.
It goes down to the Hutch, right?
It goes down. It takes a while to get down from Erskine Place to the Hutch, even if you are. We'll talk about this and we'll try to arrange something because I know there was a lot in your presentation. There's a lot going on in the Ramp C area, but if people want to get involved in Ramp C, Mary is leading a campaign, and we wanted to afford her some time to present. And she's going to be here for a few minutes afterwards, so people can speak to her one-on-one, and she'll answer all your questions. Second thing under new business was submitted by Patrick Gannon, who said he would be here. He might be running a little late, and he had some concerns with the Bound Street light and the signaling. Coincidentally, on my way here, I got stuck at the Bound Street light for a minute, only for a minute, and I actually saw someone barrel out in their car under a red light. So I know that Bound Street, some people like the light, some people don't. That's life. I would point out to everybody, though, that the light was put there because there were 21 accidents in a 7-year period. And it's, as everyone knows, right out of Seafood City. People come out, they've been T-boned. We all know people who have been T-boned or had their car wrecked out of there. I have friends, I'm sure some of you do. 21 accidents in 7 years. That's why the light is there. That's why the light was approved. Every intersection gets a signal study. This met the requirements for 100 cars on the minor street, which would be Bound Street, and 500 cars on the major street, which is City Island Avenue. That's why it was approved. Other people want to see Pilot Street. I want to see Pilot Street as well. Pilot Street is, I've actually, if you foil it, I'm one of the people who put in the request for Pilot Street originally, but they do not have that level of accidents. I think, if I'm not mistaken, it might have been 3 accidents in a 7-year period. Now, it might meet it for other criteria, and we've asked that they reconsider Pilot Street, but there's misinformation going on that somehow, because there was a light at Cross Street, they didn't put a light at Pilot Street. That's absurd and ridiculous. They do these by signal studies. And we may just wind up putting the signal studies on our website to clear up any misinformation and confusion, because foiled oil, I have all 80 pages of both signal studies. That makes for great nighttime reading. But we just want people to be aware of that. So if there's a need to change the signal itself on Bound Street, we will consider that. But I would point out that it's there for a reason. And one of the other frequent complaints we do get in the neighborhood is people speeding down City Island Avenue. So having the signals at different times is an effective deterrent of that. So sometimes we got to think holistically when we bring different problems, because while something is understandably an inconvenience, it sometimes can serve to help with other problems.
What's the nature of the complaint?
I think it was just that the light is not at the same time as the Ditmar Street light a block away. So regardless, we will, next time he's here, we will have him, because he's usually a regular here, we'll have him come up and present, and we'll all talk about it, and we'll do what we can to come to a agreement and a conclusion there. Before we, so we have done here 2 meaningful community actions. One, we still have materials for the Adopt a Base, Adopt a Block program. So if you sign up through this website, the bit.ly at the bottom here, we give you 2 brooms, a dustbin, trash picker, hedge clippers, You can have access to the weed whackers when you need them for your block, but it helps you to serve to clean up the basins. We have had people cleaning out the basins already. This was a program that actually Kara started along with Steve, who's usually here as well. So they were the ones who are kind of the brainchilds behind this, and we've already given out tools to, I want to say, about a dozen people, and we have another 5 people signed up, but we still have tools for about another 10. And if we finish with giving out all those tools, the board has approved an expenditure to staff up another 10 people. So if you're looking for a good project, you only need to give an hour a month. No one's asking for you to be private sanitation for your block. But if you're looking for a project that can have some good in the neighborhood, clean out the catch basins so when we get this weather like we've been having and it's raining all the time, you can easily just go down there and sweep it up. It really can make a difference. I encourage you to sign up, and it's a good way, again, 1 hour a month to give back to the community. We also give you nice gloves and garbage bags.
John,
Heavy-duty ones.
Is it going to be like an orientation or
Yes, absolutely. And I want to thank you, Alice, because you did sign up, and I know I dropped off the tools about a week ago. And then secondly, just to reiterate the point, because this is something we're really going all the way in on, when people, the second meaningful action, go to yescityislandferry.com, fill out the web form. I want to thank everyone, because between the text blast that's a reminder for this meeting and the e-blast we put out, I want to say like over a dozen to 20 people in the last day have emailed their elected officials about this. Again, that gets noticed. So we are helping organize this so we can make a meaningful impact. Before we break, does anyone have any questions, comments, concerns?
I was just going to say,
Liam.
The surface at the roundabout, the
Mhm.
surface, some potholes, it's just rudimentary.
Thank you for that, Liam. I'll make a note of it. Potholes at the circle. And again, we did say we're probably going to have that meeting with the DOT commissioner and Pelham Bay Park and the condition of Pelham Bay Park. The roadway conditions, the lighting, the drainage, it's all a part of the major issue there. So thank you for that. I know, Mary, we have you. Does anyone else have something before we turn it over to Mary to close out? You guys have made this very easy today. I just want to say that, so thank you. Mary.
It's not about Ramp C, it's about the ferry.
Yes.
Is there competing bids for Orchard Beach ferry?
So, yeah, there are some folks who want it from Orchard Beach. That is their right, and again, in the beginning, I was an Orchard Beach person, but the EDC did come back with a study saying that the bathy levels in Orchard Beach are too low, that the amount of time it would take to get in your car, even from the closest point to the ferry, to Orchard Beach, to get in your car, to drive to Orchard Beach, to get out of your car in the parking lot, to walk to a very far away pier because they don't want to dredge Orchard Beach, there would be no commute time savings for anybody.
Is there going to be parking at the Yes Ferry spot?
It depends. It depends at what spot they choose. Again, there are 2 different spots here. That's a decision they'll make. Obviously, they might want to. There's a variety of different things that can be done. They can do angle parking at the end here. If they go to Fordham Street, there's a lot there if they so choose to do it. But I want to point out to everybody that if the parking is built at the ferry terminal on the island, that actually is going to encourage people to come because they know there's going to be parking. Right now, EDC says people are not going to come to City Island because they know parking will be scarce.
Sorry, you mean the end of Fordham Place where the ferry stop is now?
That is one possible alternative, yes. Right now, so the EDC report, we'll put it online, I'll speak to you afterwards, but the EDC report lists 2 possible locations. One's Fordham Street and one's at the end of Belden Point. Personally, speaking for me, not speaking for the organization, I think the organization, we just want a ferry and we'll take anything we can get. I feel that way as well. Personally, I would prefer Belden Point just because I would love to see the Belden Point pier revamped, revitalized, and look very nice.
Would be at one of those restaurants?
That's something that would have to be worked out with the restaurants. That's down the line. A lot of these things are important questions. First, we need a commitment that they want to do it here, and then we can have those discussions. So I appreciate what's being said. It's not there yet. Keep also in mind beyond that, you could, the end of the island's wide. They could consider angled parking over there, do angled parking like they do at like they do at the Soundview station. If you ever go down there to Shore Haven, there's just angled parking. They don't really have public parking down there, but they do have the angled parking. And number two, there was a discussion last year to do residents-only parking passes for different parts of the city. That could be something that's considered as well. I'm not against considering any of these alternatives, but again, just because we should be guided by facts and science, the EDC report indicates that people are not going to come from outside City Island to park here when they can go to Throgs Neck, where there is a parking lot near Ferry Point. If that is their consideration, that is where they will go. For other neighborhoods, if you live in Westchester, you're going to take your Metro North because there's one in almost every town and it's easy for you to get down. If you live in the Bronx, it is a lot easier for you to go to Throgs Neck or Soundview than drive all the way over 20 minutes to City Island. So that's what EDC says. They're the experts. I am not, and some of the other people on the other side who are advocating, I don't think they're experts at it. So with that, thank you everybody. It's been real. It's been fun. We could even say it's been real fun. Bye now.